I got home to a dark house, and it just all came crushing down on me that, wow, I didn't have anybody to share that with. It was just a dark pit. Literally, I can envision the dark edges creeping around me. I grew up in the Boy Scouts of America, going through that program, and realized after high school that you could actually work for a nonprofit. And so I actually went to school, Arizona State, and learned how to be a manager of a nonprofit organization. Through that degree, spent 25 years with the Boy Scouts, and then worked for a couple of other nonprofits. In Flagstaff, things were going pretty well, actually. Had a family, including my son and a daughter. I was such a career-oriented person, and it became a very selfish perspective to have. The lifestyle really hurt my personal life and my family life. The desire to have this larger-than-life image in the community that I lived in really was a point of ruin for me. It ultimately led to a divorce. My ex-wife moved here to Oregon with our son Tristan. I honestly thought that it would be all okay because I could just fly up here and be the fun dad and see Tristan once a month and all would be good. I was on the board of directors for the Flagstaff Symphony, and we held this huge gala, and it was incredibly successful. But when I got home to a dark house, and it just all came crushing down on me that, wow, I didn't have anybody to share that with. I had no personal hope at that time. I was just in a dark place. I was devastated with my life, devastated with how the personal things were going, and I missed Tristan terribly. I turned to the church that I had been going to in Flagstaff and to the pastor there, and through a couple of conversations realized I needed to be close to Tristan. I left a good job there. I left a nice house. I left my family. I just left everything. And when I arrived in Silverton, I had an RV and a spot at the RV park, and that was it. I had no job. I had no hope, no prospect of what my life was going to be. It was just a dark pit. Literally, I can envision the dark edges creeping around me at night and during the day. It was just a really awful place to be. And I thought I had been abandoned by God at that point. God was not part of my life. And it was because I didn't allow God to be part of my life. I thought I could handle it all, and I could do it all. The first weekend that I was here in Silverton, on Sunday I decided, you know what, I'm going to go walk around Silverton and check this little town out, see what it's all about. And I had gotten no further than the road to this church when I saw the sign. And I literally felt a tug bringing me down this little path. I remember it clearly, sitting in the back row that first day and thinking, I don't want anybody to talk to me. But exactly what I didn't want to happen happened. And a number of people approached me and asked who I was and where I came from and what I was doing in Oregon, and no judgment. And I ended up having I felt like an experience with the Lord during that time, that first time I was in this church. And it was my first glimmer of hope. I didn't see the changes in my life until 4 or 5 years later, when I could look back and point at that time and say, you know, that seed of hope was planted that morning, that day, that first time I walked into Silver Creek Fellowship, and was surrounded by people full of grace. And then the Lord put together Renee and I, and that was another defining moment of hope that in my life. two broken people experiencing some really hardships with relationships coming together, and there's no doubt in my mind that that was another seed of hope that the Lord planted, and she's my rock. She's everything right now to me. I think the hardest thing about being where I was not being able to connect with people. It's hard to see when you're going through it. It's hard to imagine that you could connect with somebody ever again. There is hope. Hope oftentimes comes in the form of a very small seed, and press in with those around you. Don't let go of those that you're close to, and be close to them, and let them be close to you. I feel like the Lord really worked with me in my life, especially the last 12 years here in Oregon, here in Silverton, to teach me about hope, and how I can dispense hope, how I can give hope to others. God opened the doors to Union Gospel Mission. Was not expecting that. Just wasn't expecting that opportunity. But it was a miracle. It was the seeds of hope that were planted 12 years ago were starting to come to life. I have a totally different outlook on doing this type of work. It's mission-driven. It's mission-oriented. It's about serving God and building His kingdom. I think what the Lord has done in my heart, more importantly and bigger than anything else, is to wash away the selfishness. I was such a selfish person. It was all about me. But now it's not. It's about my family. It's about this fellowship that we're part of. It's about the men and women that we serve on the streets in Salem. It's not about me anymore.